Now we're going to look at a few properties of differentiation for vector functions. We'll start off by declaring that u and v are going to be vector functions, differentiable vector functions. C is any scalar quantity, and f is a real valued scalar function. Now, as a reminder, a scalar function is one that when you plug in an element of the domain, the output is some scalar quantity, just not a vector. A vector function is one where when we plug an element into the domain, the output is a vector. So we've got some scalar functions and some vector functions here in this list. And we want to discuss some of the properties of differentiation. Now the good news is that most of these properties are similar to the patterns that we see for scalar functions. For example, if we look at the derivative of two vector functions added together, that turns out to be the derivative of the first vector function plus the derivative of the second vector function, and that follows the exact same pattern that we saw with scalar functions. If we're looking at a scalar multiple of a vector function, then the derivative of this scalar multiple is simply going to be that scalar multiple multiplied by the derivative of the vector function. Again, the same as with scalar functions. Now, what we want to bring your attention to mostly here is that these next three are different versions of the product rule. Now, we have a scalar function multiplied by a vector function. So this would be scalar multiplication, and we could even think about that as the star multiplier. Now, in number 4, we have the dot product of two vectors. And in number 5, we have the cross product of two vectors. We do have 3 ways of multiplying vectors and vector functions, and that would be a scalar multiple of the vector, a dot product of two vectors, or a cross product of two vectors. Now, the good news is that no matter how we multiply vector functions and scalar functions together, they all follow the same pattern as the product rule for scalar functions. It is the first times the derivative of the second plus the derivative of the first times the second. And in this case, since f is a scalar function, this is scalar multiplication. With the dot product, we have the first times the derivative of the second, and actually I should say dot the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first dot the second. Now this is a heavy dot product because I've got two vectors that I'm multiplying together, or two vector functions. And then in number 5, I have the first cross the derivative of the second plus the derivative of the first cross the second. And all of these have the same basic pattern as the product rule from scalar functions. In the last property, we see a vector function with another scalar function plugged into the inside. And to take this kind of a derivative, we would need to use the chain rule. So we're going to take the derivative of the outside with that inside function still plugged into it, and then we go into that inside function and take its derivative. Now, since f is a scalar function, this multiplier here is scalar multiplication. It's not a dot product, nor is it a cross product. So let's take a look at property number 4, and we're going to prove just this one. To get started, let's let our vector function u have the components f1 as the first parametric equation, g1 as the second parametric equation, and h1 as the third parametric equation. And then let's also let our vector function v be f2, g2, h2. We know that in order to calculate the derivative of a vector function, all we have to do is differentiate each of the individual components. So let's call this f1 prime, g1 prime, and h1 prime. Differentiating vector function v, we'll get f2 prime, g2 prime, and h2 prime. So for this proof, we're going to use deduction, which means that we'll start with the left-hand side and work with the left-hand side until what we come up with is the right-hand side. So here's our left-hand side, and what we'll do first, we'll actually find the dot product on the inside here. Now, since we declared u to be f1, g1, h1, and v to be f2, g2, h2, the dot product is going to be f1 scalar product times f2 plus G1 scalar product times G2. These are scalar functions inside here. So these are small dots, not heavy dots. These are scalar multipliers. And then we have H1 times H2 inside here like this. So this is the dot product of U dot V. Well, since all of these are scalar functions, right? This is a scalar function, this is a scalar function, this is a scalar function. Those parametric equations are all scalar functions. We're basically adding together a bunch of scalar functions and then taking their derivative. Well, we know that from single variable calculus, I can simply take the derivative of each of those individual add-ins. So we'll say derivative of that first product plus the derivative of the second product plus the derivative of the third product. And now to differentiate these scalar products, we're going to use that single variable calculus product rule that we are very familiar with. So this derivative is going to be the first times the derivative of the second plus the derivative of the first times the second. And that gives me the derivative of my f1 times f2 scalar function. To that, we're going to add the derivative of the g1 times g2 scalar function, which is going to be the first times the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first times the second, plus, now we're going to get the derivative of that third scalar product, which is the first times the derivative of the second plus the derivative of the first times the second. Now, let's rearrange these terms just a bit. So let's look at the f1, f2 prime term and get that together with the g1, g2 prime and the h1, h2 prime terms. We're just going to gather these together, f1, f2 prime plus g1, g2 prime plus h1, h2 prime, and then we'll add that to f1 prime, f2, g1 prime, g2, h1 prime, h2. Now let's notice that these three terms are the same thing as the u vector function dot product with the derivative of the v vector function, right? We have f1, g1, h1, that's u, and then f2 prime, g2 prime, h2 prime, that's v prime. So this is the dot product of u dot v prime. Plus, let's look at these three terms that have been added together, and these three terms make up the u prime vector dot the v vector. So in conclusion, what we saw was that when we started with the left-hand side of the property, which was the derivative of the dot product of u dot v, we took smaller steps to find out that what that turns out to be is u dot v prime plus u prime dot v, and that is the property that we were trying to prove.